Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Maddie Lullaby and today I'm joined by Princess Korra and Ryan from Enjoy Your Game.
Hello! Again, for the 100th time.
He is in a lot of my videos. Today we thought we'd do a top 10 things that you might need that you might not think of when you move out of home.
So basically, like a year and a half ago, 15, 17 months,
Yeah.
moved out of home. Obviously moved in together and we have accumulated a many amount of things. We're going to show you the 10 things that we thought were probably the best things you should get if you ever move out of home.
Yes.
And live on your own or live with somebody else.
Yes.
Because these things have been particularly handy to us and I honestly don't think we could have survived in this damp cold house without them.
Damp cold house. Well, it's kind of true. When we first moved in, the carpet was a bit moldy and actually grew mushrooms. So
Currently, still after 17 months, there's still cockroaches floating around, crawling.
There's a lot of bugs.
There's a lot of bugs. We found 2 spiders today. They're just
Yeah.
on the floor.
They were just on the floor. Centipedes just appear on the walls. Like, why?
What else? We would think maybe rats or mice.
Yeah.
And randomly, a guinea pig showed up today.
Yeah,
So
where'd she come from?
yeah.
I think we should get on to this point first of all, which is you should get yourself a pet. If you're gonna move out, depending on, like, maybe if you move out with roommates you wouldn't need a pet, but it's just us two, and when one of us is away the other one's a bit lonely, so like it's better to have something in the house to keep you like a little bit sane. So recently, like, you might have seen my other videos where Korra got a bit ill. I ended up having to take care of her and like look after her 24/7 basically, and she ended up having to come here because beforehand she was at my parents'. So she came here and I started looking after her. I realized that the void in my life had been filled with Princess Pig.
The princess of all pigs.
Like, she's really funny. I let her run around the house on the floor. Might insert like a clip of it. But yeah, like, she's really funny and cute, and like she just makes me laugh.
Pets are one of the biggest things I think you can have for companionship.
Yeah.
We, a couple months back, were trying to get a dog because we really did want that sort of extra companionship. And it really does, it livens up the house a lot, just having something here.
Yeah.
On those occasions we just kind of like, oh, I'm just on my own. Like, like Maddie said, it really does put that extra sort of friendship in there, and yeah, it makes it feel a bit more like a home.
Yeah.
So, 100% get a pet. Okay, you ready?
Alright.
1, 2, 3, bam! This is...
Even Korra was looking at it.
She was excited.
Hey,
She's probably excited about the plug.
excited?
This is the Nutri Ninja.
Yeah.
Now, we got this like a couple months back. It was only like $50. They had a huge sale. It was about $50, and this is by far one of like the most useful things I think we've actually gotten.
Yeah.
We make smoothies in it. We've grinded up nuts for food. Maddie made soup using this thing.
Did. It was really difficult. I wouldn't recommend it, but we don't have a food processor.
We didn't have a food processor.
Yeah.
But yeah, just for like the practicality of being like, oh, I want a smoothie, and these things, like, I mean, look at this. You just take off the lid. You take this thing off. Got your blade.
Yep.
Put your stuff in the thingy.
Yep.
Blade goes up back on the thingy, and then bam. Push it down. There, you got a smoothie. It takes 10 seconds. They're really handy, really powerful as well.
Yeah,
Up down, one of the best.
I'm really impressed with the blade actually. Like, I don't think you're meant to put nuts in it, but I like make some vegan Parmesan cheese, and in that recipe you blend up cashew nuts, and it can actually blend them up really fine, and it's actually really good. So I'm impressed by the Nutri Ninja. And no, this is not sponsored. But Nutri Ninja, if you want to.
If you want, you can follow us on here and contact us through this email address.
Next point of call is, I guess we'll continue on the theme of kitchen things, because we actually have a few kitchen things.
Yeah.
I guess like most of our lives revolve around food, so.
Definitely, like, in every single day, you're going to have to go to the kitchen at least like more than twice. So you're going to have to use a whole bunch of different utensils.
Yeah.
So.
Alright, so I want to disturb Korra. Did you get the next item?
No, you grab it.
Oh, okay.
Because I didn't.
My next item is this drying rack. Now, if you guys are really lucky and you move out and you have a dishwasher, well, kudos to you. But we moved out and we didn't have a dishwasher.
Yeah.
So we have to use like this. Yes, Korra?
Go back. Pig, no. No, pig.
Pig, no. So yeah, I think this would be handy even if you didn't have a dishwasher though, because you can't put everything in the dishwasher, and this and this would be really good for drying your pots and things like that.
It's been super handy because like even without a dishwasher, we obviously have a lot of plates and bowls and things. And the little space next to our sink, there's not a lot of space. So this thing actually lets your plate stand up. So you get so much more space and they dry a lot easier that way. Yeah, totally get one of these little drying racks for your dishes if you don't have a dishwasher. But even if you do get a dishwasher, buy one anyway because it's going to be handy for things like pots and pans and other utensils you can't fit in a dishwasher.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for Korra away because you're going to get way too distracted.
No, I love her so
I know you do.
No, don't leave her. Ron, please.
You get way too distracted.
She's so cute though. Aww.
Okay.
Leave a comment on this video saying if you wanted Korra to stay, because I wanted her to stay. This next one kind of goes with the drying rack, and it's this, which is the Scrubby Brush. So yeah, once again, if you don't have a dishwasher, you need this. But even if you do have a dishwasher, I reckon this is really good for your pots and stuff like that. Yeah,
so it's got like a little, you just pop that open at the back, and then you pour in all the dishwashing liquid you need.
Yeah.
And then you just scrub with hot water, and it applies the soap directly to the spots you need them to. Takes it off really quick. You can get most of your dishes done like, I think I've got like 2 or 3 days worth of dishes done in like, I'm speed dishwasher.
Yeah.
I'm so used to it.
He like goes so quickly, it's crazy. I spend like an hour and he's like doing it for 20 minutes.
Really handy, and you don't need to worry about like buying a whole bunch of different stuff. Just buy like the heads whenever the scrubby stuff comes off. And just replace them. It's easy, just clicking them off, clicking them back on.
Yeah.
And then just fill this up whenever you need.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally handy, really one of the best things you can get.
But make sure you store them this way as well.
Yeah,
we store them that way, and like eventually all the detergent soaks through the sponge. Continuing on with the kitchen theme, I recommend that you get a really good pan. I recommend that you get a really good pan.
Good job.
So this is a Flavor Stone pan. I don't know if I'd recommend getting a Flavor Stone pan because I found that it's actually a little bit of maintenance that you need to do, that you need to keep, like eventually it does get a bit sticky and then you need to like recondition it by like cooking some oil on top and waiting for it to like cool down and then wiping it all off and whatever. But this pan's been pretty good regardless, because with normal pans the black bit can scrape off and get into your food, and that's actually really poisonous. So if you get a really good pan, that sort of stuff doesn't happen. Yeah.
I also found this one's been actually, even though it's high maintenance, it is actually really easy to clean.
Okay.
Good pan.
Next item is the pot, which I was trying to mention before. So Ryan's mum, Sonia, shout out to Sonia.
Thanks, Mum.
Sonia gave us this pot, which is actually really great because it's massive and it's really deep. So you can cook like stir fries and risotto and all this stuff in it.
Everything else we had, because prior to actually getting this pot, everything we'd put in would basically just flip out the sides and fall onto the table. And it's kind of like, oh, that's inconvenient. Like, someone has to clean. At least with these big pots, like everything is sort of more spread out. It's lower down. Nothing flies out as much. And just makes it easier to cook big meals too. If you have like a lot of people over, or even just making meals for yourself. Yeah,
like one of our go-to meals is like a stir fry, and we put like heaps and heaps of vegetables in it. Like we fill it up like almost halfway, and like could you imagine like with that pan just before it would spill out everywhere, and you want to like, you know, turn it and like move it around. So yeah, like the thick sides help it from falling out, and yeah,
basically it with the pot.
Pan.
Get a pot. You screwed up twice now. It's not hard. Pot pan.
But yeah.
Yes.
Something else else I was gonna say. If you make like a really big stir fry, you can have it for dinner that night with like your, I don't know, roommate or girlfriend, boyfriend, and then you can have it for lunch tomorrow.
Yeah.
So that's why we have such a big pot and make such big servings, because we can have it for lunch the next day or dinner, or we can freeze it and have it later on. Speaking of freezing stuff, our next item is...
Mads, no, that sounds too set up. Our next item is, Brian, bring the thing up.
Continuing on from that pot, we also recommend a freezer. No, Ryan, not that freezer. Are you just gonna blink at the camera?
What? Loved. It's in his ear now.
Ew, he's giving himself a wet willy.
His own tail. Everyone probably has a fridge and a freezer. The only thing is, like, our fridge has a really small freezer, and we freeze a heap of stuff, like a lot of stuff. So I think our recommendation was, if you are moving out, to get yourself a big freezer, or like a secondary freezer, so you can just freeze different meals and stuff like that. Because even like,
or at least utilize the freezer you have.
Yeah, because we even freeze bread.
Yeah.
I think the thing is, if you're in a big family, or if you've got a lot of people in the house you're living at, it's a bit different because everyone's eating a whole bunch of different food and making different stuff.
But like they're constantly like consuming it, so you don't need to freeze anything. But it's just, when it's just 2 people, you can like bulk make meals and like freeze them in the freezer and
and like you don't eat all that food in like one day. You might only eat like a little bit of that food, and some of that food you just won't touch because you just like, oh, I feel like having that today. Yeah. And then coincidentally it just goes off. So. Freezer, definitely get a big freezer or a secondary freezer if you've got a small freezer.
So our next item is a heater. It's a portable heater. I actually bought this with the intention of using it for my photography business because I want to take pictures of newborns, and you need to have the room very warm to do newborns, and it has like a temperature gauge on it, which is cool. But this actually ended up being really handy during winter, because our house isn't very well insulated, and during the nights it would get very cold, so we could like put that on, I don't know what temperature we put it on, like
we just put on like the highest temperature to like heat up the room for a bit. The cool thing is that this little heater isn't going to fill up your whole house, but if you put it in one little room that you're sleeping in, obviously you just got your bedroom, it heats up the room pretty quick in like maybe 10-15 minutes, like something like this. And yeah, for those really extra cold nights, it really did help. Yeah. And also the fact that Maddie has asthma, so even if she's actually got all the blankets on her and she's warm, if her head's exposed and the air is cold, it can set off her asthma a bit. So this,
like my asthma is triggered by temperatures sometimes, and also by heaps of other things.
So this thing in particular does help in making the actual air warmer and hotter, and just generally it's just good. Yeah, it's just good. Buy one.
Yeah. If you need one, then I'd recommend getting that. Our next item is...
Oh, give me 1 second. Yeah.
A notepad! Now, I use this notepad like every single day. And what I do is whenever we run out of something, I'll just write it down. I'll be like, okay, we ran out of soy milk. And then when we go to the supermarket, we can just, buy everything on the list. Like, it's really good. I also use that notepad for like heaps of stuff. Like if I have like a whole bunch of things I need to do in the day and I can't remember like what to do or which order to do them in, I just write it all down and I cross them off the list as I do them. Yes, what does it say?
It says get yourself a notepad. It's kind of
Get yourself a notepad!
Get yourself a notepad! I use them a bit too. If like, I need to write down some like calculations for stuff that I have to pay for. Yeah. Like we pay rent to, like obviously the house, and there's electricity and gas. Sometimes I write down like what I have to pay for that week and how much I'm getting and stuff like that. It's just super handy to actually have something which is just sort of small and easy. Some people are like, oh, I'll just grab paper, but paper's big and bulky. This is a bit more organized, so yeah, one of these I recommend.
On the same theme as the notepad, we have our last item. A magnetized whiteboard! Woo!
What?
This has Ryan's work roster on it, so Yeah, that's probably changed soon, so you can't stalk him anyway. But yeah, he
Catch
has,
me
like...
outside, how about that?
Catch me outside, how about that?
Oh!
No, put that
Oh,
in. Don't do it, don't put it in.
It's going in. Do you
But-
remember the first purpose we used this for?
I thought it was that.
No, it was meals.
Oh yeah, we wrote down like because we were trying to organize what we wanted to eat.
Yeah,
On
like
a
because
weekly
we've never
basis.
moved out of home before, and trying to like organize meals is a really hard thing to think about. Like to get into your mindset, like, oh, I have to make dinner tonight.
Yeah.
What am I gonna make? And so like we wrote down. What did we write down? Like
We wrote down things like, there was like pizza, there was pasta, you had stir fry, there was like Mexican.
we
So-
had like hot dogs, like just easy things because of, like, you sort of, I think you don't just go into living by yourself and making extravagant meals. You sort of like make like a list of the basic meals and then you sort of add a recipe in like every week or month. They ended up being really good.
Yeah, it was really handy because it meant that when we went to the supermarket, we could just be like, oh, well, we want to get this, and
Yeah.
this. And
Like,
so we need
burger
ingredients
buns,
for that.
We need pickles, we need like
And cheese,
salad.
and this. Is that everything? Is that?
I
So,
think that's everything.
oh, no. That's 10.
Thank you so much for watching this video of our top 10 things that we think you might need that you wouldn't think to get when you're moving out.
Someone's just like, I thought to get all those things. I don't know why this is such a hard thing for them.
I already have a big pot and a heater.
That was the first thing I bought.
Yeah.
Well, anyway.
Hopefully it helped you.
Maybe there was one or two things in there that like you didn't think you would
Yeah,
need.
maybe.
But
Like a
take
pet.
take it from someone who's not an expert on moving out, who is sort of now knows what moving out is like, that those 10 things are actually really handy. So,
Yes, very handy. Very
So-
handy.
thanks for watching the video.
Yes, thank you for watching. Please give it a like if you liked it. Write down in the comments if you think there are any other items that people should get. And subscribe. And we'll see you next time.
Okay, bye.
Bye!